Alright. I want to talk about why the Saints Row reboot should have actually been a Saints Row 3 remake. Right? So we all know Saints Row 3 got a remaster. That's the most selling game in the franchise for good marketing. But I feel like Saints Row 3 needed a remake instead of a remaster. And I feel like that actually should have been the next Saints Row game, or Saints Row 3 remake. And I'm going to tell you why. It would have made more sense because, listen, like I used to say, and I tried to watch the reboot trailer and give it a chance, but I ain't like it. Okay? So, first reason, if the Saints Row 3 was, if the next Saints Row game was a Saints Row 3 remake, it wouldn't be no risk of having to be too much change in a reboot. Because if it was just a Saints Row 3 remake, that means we could have got a better sequel to the Saints Row cast, and it just could have turned out way better. You know, Shunty could have still been like kind of the same, but more toned down instead of just being changing this drastically on the original Saints Row 3. And Johnny Gat, like we could have, instead of being these celebrities for selling brand and drinks, we should have been kingpins in the next Saints Row. Anyway, so I think, cause since we was pushing drugs in Saints Row 2, you know what I'm saying? We was pushing drugs, stealing from, you know, Sunday, pushing their product, they drugs, you know, all that type of stuff. We should have been, you know, cause we was pushing drugs in Saints Row, even in Saints Row 1. So I think we should have been kingpins. So that's why I say a remake. The new Saints Row game should have been a remake. It would have been way less risky and way more better. And then I think this Saints Row remake should have had a more grounded story. Okay, make us go after Dex and he worked with the Syndicate. You don't gotta take out the cast, but I think this would have improved, and everybody would have been satisfied with this, right? If it was a Saints Row, if Saints Row 3 had a remake as the new Saints Row game. Make it where the Syndicate and Dex work together, right? We could be a drug organization just like the Morning Star, so it could be organization against organization. That would have made way more sense, you know what I'm saying? So, and then instead of killing the Syndicate so easily, we should have got an actual fight with the Syndicate. Now that would have been way better, in my opinion. I think a Saints Row 3 remake could have really saved the franchise. Also, having the graphics of the Saints Row 3 remaster, I mean, that would have been the best thing and the smartest thing Volition could have did with the new Saints Row game. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been saying this, and yes, I was excited for the reboot, because I was like, then they already made their mind up now, so this reboot might be good. But I've been saying in the comment section that a reboot was really risky, and a reboot could be literally anything. Like, I've been saying that before we even knew Saints Row was a reboot. I said a reboot, when everybody was preaching reboot, I said a reboot could literally be anything. So don't go for a reboot, because a reboot could be too much change. Now, I wasn't really with the time traveling bull BS, but I was kind of like on the train of making a real actual Saints Row 2 remake, like a Saints Row 2 sequels remake. And that was just, I wanted a Saints Row 3 remake. I mean, we could have got a DLC expansion of Dex in Saints Row 3 if they didn't want to put it in the main game. I think it would have made more sense in the main game, since he betrayed you in the main story and not no DLC. And I think we could have expanded more up on the Aisha death situation, you know what I'm saying? With Aisha dying, you know, and her sister, because, you know, if you play Saints Row 1, you know about her sister. So I feel like the Saints Row reboot should have just been a Saints Row 3 remake. It would have saved the franchise, and it would have just made the company still, you know, a lot of people would have been satisfied, you know? So yeah, that's all I had to say. I think the next Saints Row game should have been a Saints Row 3 remake. I'm out.